Guys, it's been a minute since I've recorded, and you have to understand literally every day that I didn't record, I thought about recording. So it's like, why today? Of all the days that I've wanted to come to my little safe haven and record, but so much has been going on, and so why today? It's because honestly, I was inspired by Courtney Clark. So if you don't know of her, I believe her channel is called the Divinely Aligned channel, but I'll probably find it and link it because she did something where she told herself that she would record, I think, 100 days straight. So I'm going to do it 111 days straight, and I'm calling it Soul Blitz because it's kind of like a full on blitz of my soul becoming one with me, which we've become one before, like in little pieces. And what Courtney says is just go down there and see what comes out. Because when you're learning that you channel something higher, you, at least for me, I first, when I first channeled my mother, my family, number one, I don't think they believed me. Number two, I'm pretty sure they thought I was crazy. And it didn't help that I had like a PTSD attack, like not far after that. But then you go on a little solo journey within yourself and you know what you've been communicating with and how many deities, entities, spirits, souls, family members, other people's family members that you've communicated with that you've kept secret or told some of the only people like closest to you. And for me, that's only three people. The truth in what I could do. So when I kept it a secret for so long, it's kind of difficult to now own it because before it was I was put in a mental institution for being able to hear things, and then I had to you have to learn your gifts. It's kind of like Spider-Man, like when you get bit, or Incredible Hulk when it's the first time that you've ever had something supernatural happen and you're like, holy crap. And normally it don't go that great the first go round. Real talk, it just doesn't. At least it didn't for me. And it also depends on your gifts as well. So um it's difficult to admit that you're speaking to something else, at least if you're coming from where I come from, or at least my upbringing. If that's not something you admit, it's like voodoo or hoodoo or any kind of something that ain't godly, put it that way. So I had to find my own journey and keep it a secret so nobody. I remember when I told people I was questioning the Bible, they were like, oh, you must be atheist. It's like, no, I just want to make sure that I understand it the way God within me and the God that loves everything and everybody is saying it to me, and I'm not really hearing that interpretation based upon what preachers are telling me. And both of my grandfathers were preachers and my uncle. So, I was making sure that I understood it properly. So when I began meditating and all of this, I began getting answers that no book or preacher could give me. It was straight from source. And what confused me though is because I see all these people, like, I'm not sure the man who channels Bashar, what his name is, but he channels an alien or an extraterrestrial. And Abraham Hicks, well, Esther Hicks, she channels Abraham, who is also, a deity, but not her soul. And then now I find Courtney, and she channels Zero, who is actually Source. Courtney is more of an oracle, her soul, to tell the souls what to do, versus like regular psychics or channelers. A lot of them, well, not regular, but certain of them, they tell the human things to do, or the human or the ego consciousness. And so to find an oracle that's going to talk to your soul, it's epic. So, but then I was like, all of these people have taken different journeys than me. They're channeling extraterrestrials. There's this girl named Erin Lyons. She channels the Galactic Federation. All these things I didn't channel, So I was like, am I missing something? Because I went straight to my soul and then God. So I channel I channel a lot. But it, like, for instance, I could be talking to a friend and And if they've lost a loved one, that loved one knows that I'm a conduit and they'll come. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't know we were having that kind of conversation today. But mainly I learned this through channeling my soul, my higher self. So the way I see it and understand it, because I went on a soul journey first, I skipped the Galactic Federation. So the way in which I learned was straight from human to soul to God or source, which is when you're just everything, and you have that permission from God, from source, as you to be all that you are in being everything and knowing everything. But I don't stay at that level that long because it's just me. And there's nothing to do when it's just you up there. So you come down a few dimensions, and so after source, which is everything, source or God individualizes into souls, into a whole lot of things. I was on a soul journey, so I didn't pay attention to the extraterrestrials or the this or the that. Mine is the human soul journey. And then I get help from other people understanding the extraterrestrials and all of this and the galaxies and astrology. Mine is just soul work completely and entirely, which in all turns into creation and manifesting and all this other cool stuff. So, excuse me. So yeah, so I channel my soul, and I guess I should tell you, my name is Camilla. That's what I was born as. But for me, the name is kind of like a butterfly. You don't call a butterfly a caterpillar, even though it is the same thing. So I was born as Camilla. Recently, I'd been going by me because I had become one with my soul. And I'm gonna just be honest, and this is it's very uncomfortable to be honest. But I even see that I'm still mincing my words. But I decided I wanted to know what's my soul's name, because I knew Abraham had told Esther that his name was Abraham, and Zero must have told Courtney that their name was Zero. You get what I'm saying? And so I've often asked the being that I was speaking to often, who are you? Like, what's your name? And I've heard names. And I heard names of previous incarnations. And so it was a little daunting, because then I thought that I had to live up to that name that I was told of who I was in the past. So we had understood and came to the understanding that it just goes by me. You know what I'm saying? Because it is me. And so you could say Camilla, but it's literally my soul. So Camilla is my human and me is me, And the reason why I wanted to go by me, because like, for instance, if they say, what would Jesus do? Or something like that. And let's say I can do some really cool things that I want to show everybody. I don't want them to say, what would Camilla do? I was like, what would me do? Even though grammatically that wouldn't be correct. But I want people to say, what would I do? Because really your soul is going to teach you things that I could never. Well, I probably could, but it's easier if it comes from your source, your God, your version of my soul. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I was a little hesitant, because I'm like, I'm channeling my soul. They don't know my soul is the shit. You know what I mean? Because what if they don't know that soul, that's source, that's God. It's kind of different if I say Galactic Federation. So I kind of shed on myself a little bit. It's like, why would they listen to my soul? You know what I mean? If they don't understand that soul is source, and I've just been able to connect with mine. And then, so for the people that do understand spirituality very deeply, they would understand that I'm saying that I'm very near Christ consciousness. If I don't say that I'm near it, but I'm not, I haven't gotten to the point where I can make that move yet. I will be practicing. I don't practice enough, or when I could touch somebody and heal them yet. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the things that I do aspire and I've seen. So when my soul channels, I used to get scared because I'm like, I don't know what it was going to say. And I don't know if I was ready to tell everybody yet. But then I forgot that this is a recording. And so if there's anything said that I'm uncomfortable with, I don't have to freaking post it. You get what I'm saying? And that will help me with my fears and overcoming being honest. So I firstly have to thank Courtney for even encouraging me to, well, trust me, I have friends that have definitely encouraged me to get here and do this. But it's a lot easier when it's somebody that does what you do to make you see that they did it. And if you know me, it's like, I'm not competitive, not in the sense of competing with Courtney, but I mean, like, it gives me drive and it inspires me that if Courtney could do it, then I could do it. So, and I'm like, imagine how she must have felt having to admit that she's talking to source. And a lot of people don't understand, because when she was talking to my soul, I knew that that must be an oracle higher because my soul is a god. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, she's talking to my soul and not the human soul. She understands what I understand. So when you find people like that, it's like, if she can do it and admit that she's channeling something and it looks like her, sounds like her, but I was like, dang, how come she gets to channel something else? So my soul is like, come on, man. Like, what am I, chopped liver? And no, my soul is not chopped liver. So I know my friends can tell the difference when my soul is here and when it's not, and obviously because it'll refer to me, Camilla, as my human, or Camilla in third person as if I'm not the person talking. So obviously if this is finding you, you will probably understand that anyway. This is day one of my soul blitz, of me coming down here and seeing what happens, what I talk about, whether I channel, whether I don't channel, because regardless, my human has understood so much that I still speak at a level of consciousness as my human that are higher than majority of humans on the planet. But if my soul comes through, then that must be for some really special people, because I don't know how many people on the planet do register at that level of consciousness. Other people know those kind of specific facts. So I know when we get together, like the people that know the astrology part, the people that know the this part, that part, the people that know the soul part, and use everybody's information, because that's really all this is anyway. What I learned, my journey that I went through, I meant to share it with, let's say, a Courtney or with my friends and get all the information that they have. And so we connect and give each other the pieces to our puzzles that we were missing. And every time. And so whenever I began to get an abundance of followers, because I can feel your energy before you've even started following me yet. When you're seeing this now, it's definitely probably not going to be the day that I recorded it or the day that I posted it. Not yet anyways, but I already feel your energy from your future self watching this. So I appreciate you whenever you're watching this, because this is crazy and I'm excited. So I'm ready to share everything that I know, and hopefully with time, many people will know what I know and can do what I do and can create a world for yourself that you could never have imagined, because I can't even imagine how good mine is about to get, just because I'm taking the steps toward living my purpose and being honest with who I truly am and what I can do. I realize that nobody on this planet is going to know the things that I want them to know if I don't start to speak. And yes, so you're going to have to get used to me. Sometimes I look off camera. Sometimes it's just the way I channel. It's the way I feel comfortable, until I feel comfortable looking at nothing while feeling every bit of a whole lot of somethings behind there. Okay. So yeah, let's see what comes up. So this is day one of coming down here recording. Now, every day won't be about me, because I'm not a channeler. That I realize that I possibly can feel the collective, but mine is usually based off me. And since we do create our own universe, then more than likely there's gonna be everybody or a lot of people that feel what I feel, whether they're at my level of consciousness or not, and like meaning above or below. You know, there's going to be something that registers. And as I do this, I realize that I'm going to talk about the things that happen in a day, possibly current life events or whatever I think could happen. And right now where I'm at is on my soul journey. I am, like, if I dare say, a master of shadow work. I went down to the depths of hell to understand it, to heal myself, energetically fix the karma cycles and everything that I'll probably be talking about over these next 111 days. And by doing so, you raise your vibrations and figure out gifts that you never knew you had or always thought you had. And if you're even at the level, what I do is I went to the depths of hell, understood all those energies. So now I consider it an elevator. I go up and down the dimension elevator, which is just frequencies, energy. Everything is energy. And because I've been to the depths, I can go down and up that elevator as often as I want. I can stop at whatever floor, because I know the path to get back to the light side. I know how to quantum leap out of it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you will. That's going to be the whole point of this. And so I have to feel not rushed. I don't have to worry about being repetitive, because sometimes things must be meant to be repeated if I do that. This is going to be fun. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin, because this journey is not linear at all. It's not linear. It's up, down, around, in, out, all kinds of things. So I'm going to pause for a moment and see what comes, and then that'll let me know what today may bring. It could just have been the introduction. So I don't know when you're seeing this, but I can only imagine what these next 111 days will entail. I'm sure it's going to be telling. Oh, I remember. I was speaking on shadow work. So once you do enough shadow work and you heal all of that, then I get to go back to being now. Before, the first thing that I would ever teach people is the past and the future doesn't exist. This is what I was teaching in LA. The past and the future doesn't, and when I say teach, okay, forget it. The past and the future doesn't exist. I lost it. I'll do that from time to time because I have so many things that I want to say to you. And so I want to tell you a few things at once, and then it's like, pick one. And I'm like, okay. So I'll start with this one. The past and the future doesn't exist. And so the focus is to be now. A lot of people in their right now, they're usually thinking about the future or the past event. And most of the time, it's not something positive. I would never suggest that. If you're thinking in the future, leave it only positive thoughts. Once it gets to a negative thought, hop out of that. Come back to now. Look, feel, touch. Oh, this desk is marble. This microphone is glowing. This, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Bring yourself to a now moment if you're thinking in the future, if it's not positive. Same thing with the past. A lot of times when people think of the past, they're not reminiscing on good times. Sometimes you do. But most of the time, people are thinking on a past that they weren't fond of. Why would people think about a past they're not fond of? I don't know. Probably because they need healing. Well, I do know, because they need to heal it. But in the sense of manifesting, it wouldn't be a good idea. Only time I tell people think about the past is if they're thinking about something that's positive, because all of these moments, whether you're thinking about the future or thinking about the past, they're happening right now. So all you're doing is either creating a future from your now moment that you either don't like or do like, or recreating something from your past that you either don't like or do like. Okay, so anyway, so I had gone away from being now for so long because I had to go do a lot of shadow work. You have what's called an energy homeostasis, right? And what that is you can reach so high into a high frequency and so low. And that is your homeostasis, or your average energy, put it that way. I call it an energy homeostasis. Now, depending on what your life events contain, whether you smoke, whether you this, whether you that, it will determine how you handle things, whether you're angry most of the time, that'll determine your energy homeostasis. Now, if you start to do a whole lot of shadow work, healing some of the things that upset you, all of the traumas, your energy homeostasis will go up, meaning you can reach higher vibrations. You want to reach higher vibrations, number one, they feel better and they bring better things, because when you're in a good vibration, you are manifesting this feeling to recreate in the future. That's why your now is so important, because of manifesting or creation, because in your now, you are creating what is to come in the future based off your thoughts and your energy that you're feeling right now. Okay, so I guess that's what I'll say first. All right, all of this is literally manifesting, but people tend to misunderstand what manifesting is, because this is it in its simplest form. It's knowing that something will occur, and it will. That is at its simplest form. I wish it was that easy. It is that easy because it's easily said just like that, but to do the action of it is a lot more difficult, because to be focused on your now moments every moment, it takes practice. You can get there a lot simply with meditation. That's when you're not focused on anything and you are out of here, and your soul just gets to download or give you light codes or whatever it chooses to bring when you have released your ego and let your subconscious take over you. Okay? So yes, don't focus on the future or the past. Focus on every now moment, because this is the moment that you create. Now, what I will tell you this, because this is what I have to do. When you do a whole lot of shadow work, when you go to these other levels on the elevator and you see the door open and you choose to play, like for instance, if you If you're in not altercation, or let's say you don't like somebody and you choose to go think about it and think about how they made you feel, we're in your now moment. Or let's say you got cheated on or something. You're thinking about in your now moment, oh, when you got cheated on 2 years ago, last year. So when you think about that person, all you think about is that feeling. Yeah, well, that's what you need. That's what shadow work is: healing things that hurt. Okay, they're not fun things. They're when you're not your best self, and when other people aren't their best self, and you'll have what's called a dark night of the soul, which is absolutely one of the best times of your life. Absolutely not. Okay, but that's what healing is, because once you go touch these things, once you go face your demons, is when you realize that there was nothing to fear within any of it, and then you ascend. Okay, and this is if you're on an ascension journey, and I guess I don't have to say that to you guys. I am so often over explaining because I'm always trying to explain to people that just don't understand me, and then I stopped trying to explain and only started to explain to people that cared to know, so it wouldn't be a blow to my heart. And now I have to remember to do that because the people that are listening, and if you are listening this long, that means you get it. And therefore, I don't have to talk in code anymore, So forgive me as I get used to not doing that. But if you stay along for the ride, you're going to find out things you never thought could be possible. And you're going to start doing things that you never thought could be possible if you do or try some of the things that I say. And the moment it happens for you, I don't have to convince you at all. If you simply try something that I say, I already know it's going to work. It's on everybody who listens to do and continue the journey, because if you've made it here, if this has found you, if this is resonating with you, then you've done enough work, and you don't need me to tell you what work you need to do next. You get what I'm saying? Because you really don't have to do anything. But that was my whole thing. I was trying to figure out what level of consciousness I wanted to speak on. Did I want to speak to the people that are on the highest levels of consciousness along with me that already know some things, so I don't have to explain like the little ticky-tack ways of getting there? I do want to speak on my highest vibration, and I will. But who I am, I don't know how to leave people behind, because I didn't go through all the things that I went through to not be able to resonate with those people on that level. So what I do is what's called a tether, which is really what everybody does, but I just put a name to it. So whatever. I'm a super empath. I'm a Cancer, which makes me extra sensitive, not on an astrological level. I don't know much about astrology on an extreme level of saying like I'm like know what I'm talking about with astrology. I can tell you a Cancer because I can tell you me. But energetically, I am extremely more sensitive to the energies of this world. And when I say sensitive, I mean not people think Cancer's, oh, cry. No, it means we can feel energies exponentially more than other people can. So if you see a movie, let's just use Titanic. Oh, am I able to say that? Listen, whatever. If you see a movie that's really sad or something, and you feel it, let's say you'll feel it at a 5. It's real sad, okay? We're feeling it at a 10, which is why we're crying, and we're feeling it. We're really transmuting it because crying is so beautiful. And if you realize the power that it holds, oh my God, you'd cry way more tears. It cleanses and purifies everything. But I'll tell you that story probably along this journey. But what was I saying? Oh no, cleansing. Okay, so guys, I was telling you about tethering. All right, what I do is basically, I know that I was meant to go through every single thing that you could possibly face on the planet. I know that. Or I was meant to be extremely close to someone who has gone through something that I didn't, so I can get the knowledge. Okay? But it was a pretty penny of everything, because that's the only way that it could be authentic. And I had to learn that like, for instance, people are much more receptive to take, obviously, information from somebody that has gone through what they've been through versus somebody that, say, learned it in a textbook. And I had to learn that because I thought I knew some textbook stuff because I went to college, got a degree, blah, 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 blah. And I met somebody in what I call the gutter to bottom lower level when you start understanding my lingo, which is on the, let's say, the lowest level that I've met of human beings in levels of consciousness and socioeconomic status. Okay. And I went in there trying to help people with things that I was taught how to help people, but I had never lived fully, maybe dibble dabbled, understood some street stuff. but didn't understand it to the point where I really lived it, and to the point where I'd be respected for anything I had to say regarding it, because I didn't have to go through nothing yet. I ended up having to go through stuff so I could be able to reach those people. So I know that I didn't go through everything that I went through to not be able to reach the people that are still going through it. So you're going to find that I talk on every dimension. There's going to be some videos where you're like, oh, okay, you lost me there. That one might not be for you, but then you'll find one where I am resonating. And I will say, if it's not resonating with you, don't try to force it and make it your story. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. I promise I'll get around to something that's going to be absolutely for you. And what I do is tether to you. So when you hear a story that resonates, now you with me. Because then it's like, I know what you're talking about. That moment you say, is the moment we along for the ride, okay? I call it a soul coaster. And I don't ever stay at no lower vibration. Basically, I can go to a dimension or a frequency, and let's say a lower frequency where anybody is, and because I know the path out, because I've done it so many times, then I take us to through all the levels, through so many stories, how to get out, how to get in, how to do all of this stuff. Okay. All I can keep thinking about is I haven't figured out the flying part yet. But I also haven't read this book that I need to read, especially on like healing and stuff like that. So, all right, I guess I don't want this to get too long. I'm giving you a little snippet of what's to come. I don't know what's going to come out. I'm trying to see if I want to have any kind of order to this, or if I'm just going to relax and let my soul talk. And the difference is I've become so one with my soul that the differences are a little subtle now in the way that I'm here as me, or I'm here as Camilla, you know? But I love y'all, and I'm excited for this journey. The way that I work is and honestly, by all means, leave in the comments things that you have wondered about. You don't know what I know yet, but if you ask a question, I'll be honest whether I know the answer to it or not. I will be also honest and say more than likely I will, in the sense of if you're asking about the human experience, not the stars and the moon and stuff like that. I can tell you some really good things that you can do under moon energy and with moon water and stuff like that. But to go into depths about like placements and stuff like that, that wouldn't be it. If you wanted to know about your life, your journey, death, ascension, all of this kind of stuff, life, I don't know. Ask a question and I'm here to answer it, because I want this to be engaging too. I want to, and this is the thing, I call everyone that I teach something to my students. Not like, oh, we're the students, no, you know, or like, what are they, like Swifties and names like that? No, I want everybody to know that you will be a student as well as my teacher. I don't look at anybody as I'm above or beneath anyone, even though I will say levels of consciousness, because there just has to be a way that we have to explain differences. You have, oh, what? I was losing my mind. I said, what was that? It's my washer. Oh yeah, that scared me. My dryer, that scared me. I don't even know why I got scared. It just threw me off. But I'm not, and it's confirmation, I'm not better than anyone. Everyone can do exactly what I can do, and I'm just the person that's going to show people how to do what they do the best. Because you're going to teach, first off, whenever I'm channeling or whenever I'm teaching or doing anything, it's going to be something that I either need to hear right now, or be, you know, that's it. It's going to be something I also need to hear or need to clear. Or even if it's not, I know that whoever you are on the other side of this has something that you can teach me. I am always excited to talk to somebody, teach somebody a lesson, because usually it's going to be my soul talking if I don't know it already. And it's going to, like I said, it's going to teach me what I need to know within it. And so your journey teaches me. So you're my teacher. I know that I don't know everything. I know that I know a whole lot. And especially on what I do know, it doesn't even matter who knows what they know. I know what I know. But I know that I don't know what that next person knows. So my whole goal, to be honest, is to get everybody to ascend, to learn all of your gifts. And obviously, if we friends, I will hope that you tell me what you know, just like I'm telling you what I know, so we can all know everything and learn to play with this world the way it's meant to be played. Because with the knowledge that I have and what I know, there are so many things we're meant to be doing on this planet, and I think the time is now. If people don't understand manifesting and understand what they're creating, they're just going to keep creating what they've been creating for their world. So hopefully I'll be able to touch people and explain it in a way that they can get it. And sometimes on certain levels, it's not going to be all the, I think they call it woo woo now, all the woo woo stuff. Sometimes I just have to get straight to the human ego part, and there is no spiritual part. It's all spiritual, but there is no, like I said, woo woo part attached to it, because I got to reach some people at their human. They have to figure out how to not look through somebody's phone and not manifest that person cheating. They have to figure out how to not manifest their family member's death. Now that's going deep. You get what I'm saying? And now look, I'll leave you with this. I know I manifested my mother's death. Why? Because when the doctor told me that she had stage 3 cancer, what did I do? I went and Googled it, not knowing how powerful I was. I should have known, but come on, I was raised Christian. They're powerful. What? That's all God, and that's definitely not me. Goodness, I had to unlearn a whole lot. When you learn the different dimensions, and depending on where you are, at a certain dimension, you need to believe in God, okay, or source, or anybody above you, until you realize and get, it's kind of like permission. But when you make it, and you wouldn't get up, you wouldn't reach a high vibration if you weren't. There's things you have to do to raise your vibration. If you reach it because you're meant to. So there's no question. But when you get to a high enough level, you'll realize that, I forgot what I was saying. Whatever. Dang it. I hate that. I hate when that happens. Let me try to get it back. All right. So when that happens, it's called, I'm on a stream, right? And I'm at a high dimension, and I'm on a stream, and that stream will drop off if I like segue too far or something like that. And I shouldn't have. And it could get annoying sometimes, but patience is a virtue, because what I have to say is highly important. If you can stay along for the ride, for me to also go recatch the stream that I'm on. So like I said, I'll grab somebody. I'll just start back here. I'll grab somebody where they are energetically, and I will take them to as far up in the astrals that they can go. Now, there will be times when there's what's called a pit stop, and that means where energetically I can feel that they're no longer with me, and that's as far as their level of consciousness will allow them to go, because they can't believe the rest of what I'm saying. So I usually stop there, and we'll go from there. And yeah, so that's how it works. Dang it, I forgot that little nugget that I was telling you. I apologize. I will get better. No, I do this all the time, guys. And this is the truth. And honestly, pausing it and then going to see where it was, what I was saying, it's a bit much. It's a bit much, especially for day one. Okay, so let me see what I was saying. Oh, okay. All right. I remember what I was saying. I was saying how I manifested my mother's death. So anyways, I was told she got stage 3 cancer. I was 18. And so what did I do? I went and Googled ovarian stage 3 cancer. What did it say? Life expectancy, 5 years. And so my whole entire time, I didn't know manifesting or anything at this time. I was just counting down the years. Oh, my mom's going to die in 4 years. Oh, no. But then it goes away, and then it comes back. And I'm like, oh, man, now I have to learn about remission. And then it does come back. And then I was like, oh, goodness, she only got 3 years. Well, she made it to 6, but she died, right? And by the way, the way she went was also magical. And she also showed me that we can control when we leave or not. I needed that. And it was very beautiful. I'll share that story one day. But yeah, and so it wasn't until like recently, maybe a few years ago, when I was learning manifesting heavy, and I realized, I'm like, if it's what I know to be true for a fact, and I started experimenting, because my life is literally an experiment. I experimented with myself. Anyways, my life was an experiment, so I test out everything. And so when manifesting working, I could not deny how much I knew that my mom only had 5.5 years to live. And as much as I knew it, I had to admit that I knew she left also, because in my world that I'm creating, it's what I knew that was going to be so. Now, obviously, there are great things and great reasons why she did that. I'm so grateful, because she was my first spirit guide and the first person that I ever channeled. And so it was absolutely meant to. Many great things came from that. And the rate at which I communicate with her, I'm not certain whether I prefer her here or gone. The physical touch and stuff, yeah, but spiritually, the way she's here for me now in the astral versus how she was here for me in regular, especially like we lived in different places too. It's I could say mom and she could be there, you know? So there's so much that I want to share. I think day one, that's pretty good. Again, forgive the repetition. I'm going to see if there's going to be any order to this or if I just dedicate for sure 111 days of at least coming down here, getting started, getting used to sharing the truth, seeing how often I relax and allow my soul to come out and not try to be my egotistical self and take over the conversation and just relax in it and allow you guys to witness something that's truly miraculous and unbelievable. I wish by all means that you guys can see what I see and know what I know, but at least that's why I'm going to share it. And it's going to be cool. So, day one complete. Thank you, Courtney, for having me do this. You are a super blessing, guys. I should find, yeah, it should be in my body, whatever. I don't know what it's called. Please follow her if any of that higher stuff resonated with you. If you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it. But again, I thank everybody that has encouraged me to do this. This is definitely out of my comfort zone, but I would be lying if, like, to myself, I'm tired of lying to myself by pretending that I am not who I know I am. So I'm excited for this journey. I'm excited to get to know all of you. I can't wait. And please give me questions on anything. You don't even know what to ask yet, but just ask it and see if I know the answer. And we can have some fun here. Uh, until next time, I love y'all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being my teacher and student. I love y'all. Talk to y'all later. I'm out.